Allo, allo, it's Nia. Welcome to AI Creator World Podcast, the place where creators learn how to grow faster, build smarter, and turn artificial intelligence into real opportunity. Here, we explore powerful AI tools, content strategies, personal branding systems, and new ways to create income in the digital era. If you are building something online, you are in the right place. Let's begin.
Right now, as you scroll TikTok or Instagram, you are probably forming parasocial relationships with people who, well, they literally do not exist.
Which is pretty wild to think about. You're watching these creators who never sleep, who don't have bad days.
And who can seamlessly speak like 130 languages. They are aggressively outcompeting human influencers for your attention every single day.
It is a massive shift in how digital media operates, really. Because the sheer volume and the quality of content we are seeing right now, it isn't coming from sprawling studios with million-dollar budgets anymore.
No, definitely not.
It is coming from solo creators, people operating with just terrifying efficiency right from their laptops.
And if you are insanely curious about how exactly a single person is pulling that off in 2026 without completely burning out, welcome to the deep dive.
Glad to be here for this one.
So our grounding source today is this really comprehensive expert guide titled Best AI Tools for AI Influencers in 2026. And our mission here is simple. We're going to unpack the ultimate 12-tool technology stack.
The exact blueprint.
Right. The stack that allows a single solo creator to build, animate, and scale a massive AI influencer brand without needing a team and without feeling totally overwhelmed by information overload.
Because the stakes here are actually incredibly high if you're trying to enter this space. Most beginners, they fail before they even really launch.
Yeah, they hit a wall.
Exactly. They fall into one of two traps. They either stitch together way too many fragmented tools, which just creates this chaotic, unmanageable workflow, or they use too few tools and they hit a hard production ceiling within weeks.
They literally max out what one human being can physically manage in a day. They become the bottleneck in their own business.
Precisely.
So today, we are breaking down a coherent production stack where every single tool has a specific, highly optimized job. But, before an AI influencer can hijack the social media algorithms, they need a personality and a face.
Right, because you can't animate what doesn't exist.
Exactly. So let's start with the brain of this whole operation, the ideation layer.
The foundational layer. If you look at the most successful AI accounts right now, ChatGPT, specifically the GPT-4o model, which runs about $20 a month, that is the central creative engine.
It's the core.
Yeah, it effectively replaces a full-time content writer. It does the ideation, the scripts, the captions, even the hashtag research.
Okay, let's unpack this, because if you just log in and ask an AI to, write a post for an influencer, you are going to get something incredibly bland.
Oh, totally robotic.
Yeah, robotic and just stuffed with emojis. So the secret weapon here is the character document. I like to think of it like filling out a highly detailed Dungeons and Dragons character sheet.
That's a great way to put it.
You aren't just giving the AI a loose vibe, you are feeding it a meticulously documented psychological profile. Their specific fears, their recurring inside jokes, their exact tone of voice.
They're weird little quirks.
Exactly. And you have to feed that exact character sheet into every single writing prompt. That is the only way you achieve tonal consistency day after day.
Right, because a lot of creators assume the AI will just, remember who it is supposed to be.
Yeah.
But these language models, they will drift and hallucinate over time if you don't constrain them.
They lose the plot.
They really do. So anchoring every prompt with that character document is what builds actual relationships with an audience. The viewer needs to feel like they are hearing from the exact same human being every time they open the app.
And what's wild is that you need that same consistency for the visual side, too. The face.
Oh, absolutely. What's fascinating here is how that exact same principle of strict consistency applies to the visual identity. And for the face of the influencer, the industry standard is universally Midjourney, which is about $10 a month.
Well, generating a pretty face in Midjourney once is easy, right? Anyone can type in a prompt and get a stunning image.
Sure, the first time is easy.
But getting that exact same face 100 times from different angles and different lighting, that sounds like a complete nightmare. If I generate a face on Monday, how do I make sure it doesn't look like a totally different person by Friday?
Well, it is a nightmare if you don't understand prompt architecture. The operational secret here is leveraging Midjourney's character reference parameters.
Okay, how does that work?
When you do that very first creation session and you finally get the facial structure and the styling exactly right, you do not just save the image and move on.
You need the metadata.
Exactly. You extract the exact seed number and the character reference data from that specific render. You then append that complex string of data to the end of every single image generation prompt you ever write for that character, forever.
So it's basically a facial recognition protocol for the AI?
Essentially, yes.
Because if your influencer looks even 5% different from post to post, the illusion shatters. The audience subconsciously hits the uncanny valley. They feel like something is wrong, and they just swipe away.
They won't even know why they're swiping, but they will.
Right. So we have a consistent brain with ChatGPT, and we have a consistent face with Midjourney. But let's be real. A static image is absolutely dead in the water against modern algorithms.
Yeah, static images simply do not have the algorithmic weight to drive exponential reach anymore in 2026.
Short-form video is the primary growth engine. We're talking Reels, TikToks, Shorts. But here is the massive problem. How do we make this static Midjourney face talk, move, and emote without spending 40 hours manually animating every syllable in some complex rendering program?
This brings us to the avatar video platforms.
Okay.
These are the engines that create the actual illusion of life. And the industry is currently dominated by two heavyweights, Hagen and Synthesia.
And they do different things, right?
Very different. They actually serve entirely different strategic purposes depending on the exact business model of the influencer you are building.
Okay, let's start with Hagen. Because if you are building an aesthetic, personality-driven digital creator, someone doing vlogs, fashion hauls, or rapid-fire TikTok commentary, Hagen is the engine driving that growth.
It's about $29 a month, and it's frankly terrifying how good it is.
The natural lip sync, the subtle micro-expressions, the dynamic voice performance, it's unreal. You basically just give it your Midjourney character image and your ChatGPT script, and in about 5 minutes, you get a 60-second video that looks like a professional camera shoot.
5 minutes, which completely dismantles the traditional video production bottleneck.
But I have to play devil's advocate here on behalf of the listener for a second.
Go for it.
If I am trying to post 2 videos a day, doesn't generating a brand new avatar from scratch every single morning completely break the workflow? I mean, if I have to constantly re-upload the image, tweak the voice clone, fix the eye contact for every single video, I might as well just set up a ring light and film myself.
Well, yeah, that would entirely defeat the purpose of automation. But that isn't how the platform actually functions.
Okay, good.
Hagen utilizes a feature called Avatar Studio. You do not build a character every day.
Right.
Spend a few hours building a persistent foundational character model exactly one time. And once that digital puppet is locked into the system, it stays there.
So it's just ready to go.
Exactly. For your daily workflow, you simply drop in today's script, and the system instantly applies it to your pre-existing model. It already knows how that specific character blinks, how they tilt their head, how their voice fluctuates.
That is massive operational leverage. Okay, so if Hagen is the king of aesthetic realism and quick TikToks, why would a creator choose Synthesia?
Synthesia, which is also around $29 a month, is the superior architecture if your AI influencer is focused on structured, educational, or B2B tutorial content.
Like a digital professor or a finance guru.
Right. Hagen wins on sheer photorealism for a quick, punchy post. But Synthesia is a professional-grade broadcasting suite. It has a built-in multi-scene editing interface that feels a lot more like traditional video software.
Okay, I see.
But its true superpower, the reason enterprise creators use it, is its multi-language localization engine.
Oh, right, because an educational creator wants to reach the widest possible demographic.
Precisely. Synthesia can take a single core script and generate perfectly lip-synced video in over 130 languages with a single click.
That's insane.
And if you don't want to go through the hassle of generating a custom Midjourney face, they also have over 230 highly realistic pre-built models ready to go.
So your AI finance guru can seamlessly teach a concept in English, instantly pivot to Spanish for the Latin American market, and then drop a Mandarin version an hour later.
All from a single laptop. It fundamentally changes audience acquisition.
But there is still a missing piece here. If your entire feed is just a floating head staring directly into the camera against a blank wall, it gets incredibly visually monotonous.
Viewers get bored very quickly.
Yeah, we need environmental realism. How do you fake a physical world for this digital person?
That is where a tool called Runway ML enters the stack. It's about $15 a month, and it acts as your virtual B-roll camera.
Virtual B-roll. I like that.
Yeah, you can feed Runway your static Midjourney images and ask it to animate the environment. So you can make the wind blow through their hair, make the neon lights flicker in the background, or even generate cinematic, sweeping, establishing shots of a fake city.
It adds dynamic visual variety so your influencer looks like they actually occupy physical space.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's check our inventory here. We have a talking avatar, we have dynamic B-roll scenes, and we have a compelling script. So we have raw video. But raw video does not stop the scroll.
It absolutely doesn't.
It needs algorithmic packaging to actually hook a viewer in the first 3 seconds. We are moving off the creative desk and onto the assembly line now.
Post-production is where the content is mathematically packaged for maximum retention.
Right. And for the video polish, the standard is CapCut AI. You drop your raw HeyGen export into CapCut, and it handles all the heavy lifting.
And you can use the Pro version for about $10 a month, or even just the free tier.
Yeah, and with a single click, it listens to the audio and auto-generates those punchy, highly styled on-screen captions. It auto-trims dead air to keep the pacing really aggressive, and it can apply trending visual hooks in seconds.
We really have to emphasize how critical that auto-captioning mechanism is.
For sure.
Because the vast majority of social media users start watching videos with the sound off. If your video starts playing silently and you don't have dynamic, eye-catching text flashing on the screen to hook them immediately, they're scrolling past you.
CapCut automates that retention mechanism entirely.
Okay.
And then for the visual, the graphics, the Instagram carousels, the media kits to pitch sponsors, we move to Canva AI, which is about £10 a month for Pro.
Right. Canva is essential here.
Here's where it gets really interesting. As a solo creator, you do not want to be manually typing in hex codes or searching for that one specific bold font every time you need to make an announcement post.
No, that's a huge waste of time.
With the brand kit, you hard code your AI's visual identity. There's specific color palettes, their exact typography, their recurring logos. You just set it up one time.
And then it just remembers.
Right. Then, whenever you open any new template, Canva instantly recalculates the design and auto-applies your entire visual identity to it. It transforms a generic template into a highly customized premium brand asset in milliseconds.
It enforces visual continuity across platforms without requiring a graphic design degree, which actually brings us to a major operational bottleneck.
Okay, what's that?
Well, you now have flawless, perfectly branded content. But if you are manually opening the Instagram and TikTok apps on your phone every day at 2 p.m. to upload files, type out captions, and paste hashtags.
You haven't built a scalable brand.
No, you have just built yourself a highly stressful, underpaid data entry job.
And nobody wants that. We need to completely automate the distribution. So we are walking onto the factory floor now. Let's look at the scheduling mechanisms.
The stack diverges here based on your scale, really. It comes down to buffer versus later.
Let's start with Buffer.
Buffer is about $6 a month per channel. It is the entry-level workhorse. It has a remarkably clean interface and a built-in AI assistant right in the dashboard that actually reads your video and suggests hashtag clusters and caption variations.
So it keeps things frictionless when you are managing your first couple of platforms.
Yes, Buffer is excellent for initial momentum. But if your strategy is heavily reliant on Instagram for monetization, you will inevitably transition to Later, which is around $18 a month.
Because Later is engineered specifically for visual-first scaling, right?
Exactly. It features a drag-and-drop visual grid preview, which is absolutely vital because you need to see exactly how your AI influencer's aesthetic looks cohesively before posts go live. But the critical mechanism that separates Later is its link-in.bio functionality.
Right, because at a certain point, likes and views don't pay the server costs. You have to actually sell something.
Exactly. Later essentially turns your static bio link into a fully shoppable, multi-layered landing page.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, if you are monetizing your AI through digital products or affiliate fashion links, this creates a frictionless sales funnel directly from the post to the checkout page.
Speaking of that sales funnel, we have to know if any of this is actually working. I mean, posting into a void is useless. We need analytics.
The intelligence layer.
Right. The intelligence layer of this stack relies on 3 specific tools. First, Metricool, which runs about $22 a month for the advanced tier. Now, Metricool does all the standard analytics, but its true value is its competitor benchmarking mechanism.
And benchmarking is the only way to diagnose algorithm shifts.
Right, because if your views suddenly drop by 50% overnight, panic sets in. You start wondering, did you get shadow banned? Does your content just suck now?
It's a terrible feeling.
But Metricool allows you to track your real-time performance side by side with 3 direct competitor accounts in your niche. If everyone's views drop simultaneously, you know it's just a platform algorithm update and you don't need to change your strategy.
Context is everything in data analysis.
Then you have Google Analytics, which handles the off-platform tracking. Because a viral TikTok is great, but if you are selling a course, you need to track the user's journey all the way from that social click onto your website and through to the actual credit card swipe.
You need to see the whole path.
And finally, to fuel the top of that funnel, we use Flick. Flick is about £14 a month, and it is a completely different animal for hashtags.
It really is.
It doesn't just hand you a list of generic keywords like AI fashion. It scrapes real-time engagement data to find hyper-niche hashtags that have low competition but are currently driving massive reach today.
It replaces guessing with mathematical probability. But, this raises an important question for you listening. With all this immense capability, 12 distinct pieces of software running simultaneously, how do solo creators avoid the most fatal trap of all? How do they prevent their daily workflow from devolving into absolute chaos?
It is so easy to fall into that. You bounce from chatting with ChatGPT to rendering a face in Midjourney to exporting a video in CapCut to scheduling it in Buffer.
And your brain is just fried.
Totally fried.
The solution is strict, disciplined batching. The biggest mistake creators make is trying to produce one post end to end.
Like doing the whole process for just Tuesday's video.
Right. You do not write one script, generate one image, animate one video, and post it. Task switching between these different AI models destroys your cognitive focus and wastes massive amounts of processing time.
It has to operate like an assembly line. Upstream input dictates downstream output.
Exactly.
You sit down with ChatGPT and you generate all of your scripts for the entire month in one sitting. You do not touch another tool. Then you open Midjourney and render all the visual assets you need for the month. Then you move to Hagen and queue up all the video renders.
Batching is non-negotiable.
If you perform tasks out of order, or if you introduce a tool that doesn't naturally fit that linear sequence, you are adding friction, not capability. Cut it from the workflow.
Grouping identical computational tasks together is the only mathematical way a single human being can manage a daily output that used to require a team of 10.
So we have 12 incredibly powerful tools on the table. And if you are listening to this, it is dangerously easy to catch shiny object syndrome.
Oh, everyone gets it.
You feel this urge to go buy every single pro subscription right now so you have the ultimate setup. But let's map out the exact 3-phase blueprint for how you should sequence your spending so you don't burn through your cash before you even gain a single follower.
The blueprint is entirely built around proving concept before allocating capital.
Okay, phase 1.
Phase 1 is the launch phase. Your target budget here is literally $0 to $20 a month. You build the foundation entirely on free tiers.
That's amazing.
It is. You use the free version of ChatGPT, CapCut's free editor, Canva's basic tier, Buffer's free plan, and Metricool's zero-cost benchmarking. You can architect and launch a stunning, highly professional digital brand without spending practically anything.
And once that free stack proves it can attract real eyeballs, you enter phase 2, which is growth. Now your budget shifts to $40 to $60 a month. You upgrade to ChatGPT Plus for the advanced reasoning, you buy the Hagen starter plan to unlock high-fidelity video, and you grab Canva Pro for the brand kit automation.
And the specific trigger to spend this money is when short-form video becomes your primary engine and you desperately need that avatar realism to hold attention.
Right. And finally, phase 3 is scale. Your budget expands to $80 to $100 a month. This is when you integrate Midjourney for flawless visual consistency, later to build out your Lincoln.bio sales funnel, and Flick for advanced data optimization.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the absolute golden rule of this entire deep dive is this. Your software spend must always follow your proven production output.
It should never precede it.
Never. Do not buy Phase 3 analytics tools, hoping they will magically motivate you to make content. Prove you have the discipline to run the assembly line first. Then buy the tools to run it faster.
So what does this all mean? As we wrap up this deep dive, take a second to realize the sheer, almost unbelievable leverage you now have at your fingertips.
It's unprecedented.
Think about the entire workflow we just built. What historically required an entire agency, a copywriter, a videographer, a graphic designer, a data analyst, and a social media manager, now takes one solo creator about 20 to 30 minutes a day to manage.
The traditional barriers of high technical skill and massive production budgets have been completely vaporized by AI.
In this new ecosystem, you are the studio director, not the film crew.
The only real barriers left are your creative strategy and your operational consistency. The technology is no longer the excuse.
Exactly. But before we sign off, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over, something that really builds on the reality of everything we've just unpacked today.
Let's hear it.
If a single person sitting in their bedroom can spin up a perfectly optimized, multilingual digital celebrity for almost $0, what happens to the entire concept of authenticity on social media?
It might be the most important cultural question of the next decade, honestly.
When an AI influencer can be precisely engineered using all this data, perfectly tailored to your psychological profile, to be infinitely more relatable, more responsive, and more engaging than a real human being who has bad days and gets tired, will audiences even care that they aren't real?
That is the big unknown.
Or will the flawless algorithmic consistency of AI eventually just outcompete messy human creators entirely? Something for you to explore on your own.
Thank you for listening to AI Creator World Podcast. If you found this episode valuable, make sure to follow the podcast, subscribe on YouTube, and share this episode with another creator who is building their future online. For deeper guides, AI tools, and step-by-step growth strategies, visit our website at aicreatorworld.net. And remember, in the age of artificial intelligence, creators who learn faster will lead the future. See you in the next episode. Bye!